Start building your empire from the ground up. We've got a fresh 2025 Dynasty Startup Mock Draft coming your way for Superflex formats. All this and more. It's a brand new IBT podcast coming right at you.
I've been going dummy, out of bounds, putting on a clinic. Stick around, carrots in my hardware. KC, caught him in the crosshair. Look at me. Been the guy, call him Mr. MVP. Keep your ass on the bench by my FTC. Earn my stripes like I fixed this league. Your dog's on the turf, my dog's in the street. You can find me somewhere in between. Never a dull moment like a movie scene. About to do the ops like I did this beat. Let them keep talking RG3. Coming to you live. This is the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast.
All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. And just like that, boys, we're back in the back half of the summer, which means NFL training camps are wide open for business, and that can only mean that fantasy football drafts are kicking off soon. And to celebrate our fantasy football draft party, Draft Night Out kicking off in just 2 weeks in Canton, Ohio. The first Dynasty editions going down as well. We're back in those mock draft streets tonight, this time doing a Dynasty startup draft for Superflex formats. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and despite this being my fifth show of the day, I'm ready to rock and roll with you. And it felt like one of those crisp fall mornings. You walk out, everything's feeling good, football right around the corner, and so just a good day to talk some ball with the boys. And I'm joined by two of the best in the business today, including a man of many talents, former rock star, current founder of the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. He's also IBT's Director of Business and Tech, a guy who is now getting credit for the Expo Parking Garage parties. Despite me showing him the spot to begin with, he's Tyler Bradley. Tyler, what's up, man?
What's up? You know, I got to bring the good times with me. That's part of the vibe. No, I'm glad to be here, Seth. It's always a fun time being on the show with you guys. Steve, Seth, you both great analysts, and it's, you know, I consider it a privilege to get to be on the show with you.
Yeah, man, great to chop it up, even though you're stealing my thunder out there, but I appreciate it.
Hey, man, the crowd sees it as they see it, my friend.
I'm like the kid who found the party spot, but necessarily didn't bring the party to it. That's our man Tyler over there. Also back in the mix tonight, our entertainment and NFL betting expert here at IBT, Boston's boy, Steve Lawson, who also will be ready to hit those streets of Canton, Ohio in just a few weeks. Steven, have you mentally prepared to see the squad in person yet?
No, I haven't. But you know what? It's judging by the outfits that you've worn in the last few weeks on the show. I just feel like I'm going to be, I feel like I'm meeting a Muppet from Sesame Street. You just always have like just such a wonderfully innocent energy about you, Seth. And I'm just so excited to actually get to hang out in person.
Agreed.
You, me, Big Bird, Elmo, we're all just going to hang out and have a great time.
Dude. That's amazing.
Hey, man, I'm on like the summertime grind right now where it's the summertime shirts, right? I always pick out the favorite outfit, especially today. I'm on 5 shows, want to feel good, look good, especially when I'm going against you boys in a mock draft tonight. I got to get the best grade on that, so excited for that. And as always, before we get this mock going, shout out to the IBT family who is tuning in. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Come be a part of our story. And also, be sure to check out the website for some dope written content. And while you're on the site, consider getting a ticket to Draft Night Out. As noted, that's our live fantasy football draft at the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton, Ohio on August 9th. And if you want to come draft with us and 200 of our closest fantasy football friends, this is the event for you. We'll have a shot wheel spinnings. Songs will be sung. And giveaways will be going off and everything in between as well. We're also currently running a special on those tickets as well that you can get invested with. It's the #Weekender special where you can get 10% off when you go to Draft Night Out. When you go to the IBT Classic, that's our golf scramble happening the day before as well. The link to that is in the episode description. Again, just use the code #Weekender on the In Between Media website. Get yourself a ticket to Draft Night Out. Get yourself a ticket to the IBT Classic. You're going to get 10% off those event tickets. And they're going hot right now, Steven. They're going very, very hot. Definitely the most we've ever sold at this point. We're looking like potentially a sellout. So I think people want to get in sooner rather than later, man.
Yeah, and they absolutely should. I got to tell you, I am super ready for the IBT Classic. I went
Yep.
out, got a practice round in just
Good.
last week.
Good.
Shot well. I hit one from 150 out, brought out an 8-iron for it, dropped it within 3 feet of the cup. Little
Okay.
tap in. So
All
it was
right,
nice.
Well, we're gonna need that energy out there because I've only gotten out about 2 or 3 times since early May. So hasn't been the most consistent summer so far for the golf game, but I'm glad I have you to carry me. We got Brent in the chat saying, all right, Superflex. What's up, Brent? Good to see you tonight, man. Thanks for making some time for us. Albert saying, good evening, IBT. Good evening, Albert. Thanks for checking in with us as always, my dude. And Ben giving us the wave as well. What's up, Ben? Good to see you. And Michael checking in saying, good evening, Three Musketeers. And also says that he needs to purchase another ticket for his daughter. Hey, man, this is the time. This is the time. They're going fast, so we want to make sure she's in there as well with you. But, guys, let's go ahead. Let's kick things off here and jump right into it with a little front and center and fire up this mock draft. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Sometimes taking that first step out the door is the hardest thing to do. Give it a chance, you'll be begging for more. Save the spot just for you. We're all somewhere in between. How about you come to the place we can have some fun? Ain't gotta worry about knowing not what it means. Keep come and give me another, cause the night is young. At least I so thought.
This just in. Breaking news. Front and center.
All right. It is our Dynasty Startup mock draft. We will be doing a 12-team Superflex full PPR format league using the Fantasy Pros mock draft simulator because, one, it's, I think, maybe the best mock draft simulator with ECR rankings intact, pulling those mock drafts and those ADPs together. And also, I'm a company man, so appreciate them putting this together. And we'll go ahead and fire it up. I'm going to be drafting from the 2 slot in this draft. And we're also going to have Tyler. I think you're coming from what, the 7 slot here? Is that correct?
Yeah, I tried to split you guys right down the pipe, and I hate drafting in the middle, so it's going to be a good one.
What about you, Steve? What are you drafting from tonight?
I think I'm pulling the 12 spot. I took the back end.
Okay. All right. Steve taking the back end. I always find in these mock drafts that the back ends are potentially one of the most fun because there's going to be a tier of quarterbacks right off the top, guys, that we're going to see go that will potentially shake everything up. And let me go ahead. I'm going to mute that sound as well. Tyler, do you have a general strategy for yourself when it comes into this mock draft? Are you a guy who likes to win in year one, or are you someone who is potentially going after a future build?
I'm going to play a really balanced game. I want to try to get some good young people that I can build my team around, but I'm not afraid to grab a few veterans, mid-draft or later in the draft that I think can win me a championship early.
Okay. All right. Well, at 101, it is our guy, Josh Allen, going off the board. That puts me up at the 102. Was really hoping to get Allen in this particular build. That's not going to be the case. It looks like I'm going to have to go with Jane Daniels at the 102. I think Lamar Jackson, honestly, very viable as well. I'm going to go for more of the youthful build, though, at the 102. So I'm going to go ahead and make that pick. And another string of quarterbacks comes off the board here. 103, Lamar Jackson. Wow. 104, Jalen Hurts. 105, Joe Burrow. 106, Patrick Mahomes. Tyler, you're on the board. I've seen Mahomes in these startup drafts fall into the second round as of late. I think there is a tier break at the 105. So is this where you potentially go with a different position? Do you go Jamar Chase? Do you make a play for a running back? Or is this where you just kind of stay packed and continue this quarterback run?
So in Dynasty especially, but I think in fantasy football, one of the hardest positions to roster for a lengthy amount of time is running back. So to me, even though like I do want to get solid young receivers, like if I can get a top tier running back that gives me the next, 5 to 7 years, then that's what I'm going to do, especially with those guys off the board. So I'm going to take Bijan here.
Bijan Robinson goes off the board to Tyler at the 107, Justin Jefferson at the 108. Wow, we have Jamar Chase falling all the way to the 110, Justin Herbert before him at the 109, and then Drake May. Steve, do you think Herbert and May belong in the first round of these Superflex Dynasty startup mock drafts? And are you comfortable going with another quarterback at the 112, or do you pivot to another position here, being on the turn?
I don't think any of the last 3 quarterbacks to go really belong in the first round at all. And interestingly enough, Tyler and I almost approached Dynasty from an entirely different perspective. I am actually perfectly comfortable buying older running backs and focusing on other positions because it's just I need guys who are going to be there for a decade. If I'm going to draft someone, I want to draft for the next decade. And that's why I drafted the guy I just did in Malik Neighbors. Wide receivers last. I can go get an aging running back like Derrick Henry right now for a second round pick. That's pretty cheap to me. I can fill out my championship roster with running backs. I can't get wide receivers that cheap. Not usually. So I like to really get those wide receivers. I like to go and look and find some elite options at really tough positions. Another position that tends to be very difficult to find and roster for a long time is the tight end position. And it just so happens that we have a generational player who's only into his second year.
Wow,
Who
you're
I
going to
feel
do it.
like belongs here with me. Give me Brock Bowers at the 201.
Wow. So Steve shakes things up. He goes Brock Bowers at the 201, gets Malik Neighbors. So all in on the 2024 rookie class. Caleb Williams follows him. Jahmyr Gibbs after that at the 203. CeeDee Lamb off the board at the 204. I think it's a great deal for CeeDee Lamb. I don't hate Team 9 start going with Justin Herbert and CeeDee Lamb, and then Saquon Barkley off the board at the 205. Tyler, is this where you get your quarterback here at the 206? Or is this maybe where you grab that first wide receiver?
I'm going to grab my first wide receiver, and I'm going to take another, probably my second to Malik Neighbors. And I mean, I'm going to really lock in 2 studs for a long time with the way this draft's laid out. But I'm going to take Junior right here and have a really nice stack there.
Yeah, I love that play from you, man. Honestly, I think it's a very, very smart one. I think Brian Thomas Jr., the ceiling's only getting better. Even, Travis Hunter potentially will knock down some of that target share, but at the same time, give him another year in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence, a full year healthy. So don't hate that at all. I think I'm going to have to pull the trigger, and I think I'm going to have to go with my guy, Jahmyr Gibbs here. I think it's the only pick that, excuse me, Ashton Genty. I think it's the only pick that makes sense. I'm extremely high on him from both a dynasty lens and a redraft perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and make that pick with Ashton Genty and see what kind of comes back around for me here at the turn. Get that stud running back. And I really appreciate like a hero running back approach in dynasty too right now, guys. Like, I can find my dart throws later on, right? Like I can find whether that's, me in a couple of years, continuing to invest through the rookie drafts, or, like the last few years, I've taken shots on guys like Chase Brown in the 3rd or 4th round of rookie drafts. Last year took a shot on Bucky Irving. Like you can find these guys. So I'm going to go with the hero running back approach. I'm going to now look for my wide receiver 1. And I feel like I have a lot of great options in this ballpark as well. Steve, for me, I think it's between Nico Collins and Drake London. Do you have any preference yourself? Because they're back-to-back in my ranking. So I think I probably will pull the trigger on Nico Collins. But
that's
Drake
who it should be of those 2. That's who it
Tyler,
should be of those 2.
Drake London. See, the thing about Drake London, though, is the stack's available, Tyler. You know what I mean?
What stack? Boo.
Michael Penix Jr. Oh, all right. I'm going. Yeah.
The way that this mock has taken quarterbacks off the board, I don't see how he's there.
Could be.
I should just take him now and make you sit with the fact that you drafted Drake London ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown and guys like that.
I'm a little bit lower on Amon-Ra actually this season. I think honestly, guys, like. Yes, we have the Ben Johnson effect, happening. And then at the same time, there's a lot more outdoor games for the Lions. Their defense is probably not going to fall apart too. So, I'm a little bit lower on Amon-Ra. Nico Collins, I could have made the case for. Would have loved if Puka would have fell to me. Maybe he was the pick over Ashton. there, honestly, and hoping maybe Genty falls back to me. After Amon-Ra at the 303, CMC at the 305, and then Achan goes off the board as well. Tyler goes with Ladd McConkey. Why Ladd McConkey here, Tyler?
I just got two really, really good long-term assets at wide receiver. Both of them finished in the top 10 last season.
Mm-hmm.
Our Ladd was right there close. Like as rookies, and they'll both be playing for a long time. So in dynasty startups, like it's kind of like this is a hero running back approach to me. Like I got my solid guy. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting a couple really nice young players that have already touched, top performers at the position, and I can address quarterback a little bit later.
Okay. All right. That sounds good to me. After that, we have some more players going. Brock Purdy at the 308, Nico Collins at the 309, and then Garrett Wilson at 310, Derrick Henry at the 311. So the old man still has it. Steve, you got a couple seconds left here on the clock with your first pick. You go Breece Hall. Definitely an on-brand pick here for the kid.
Yeah, you know me. I love me some Breece Hall, and then it's really a toss-up here because I'm looking at the way my team. So here's how Dynasty kind of works out for me, and usually how it all goes is the first 2 or 3 rounds, maybe 4, you can go in with a strategy. From there is a bit of whatever the board does is kind of how you have to pivot the rest of the way. So, like, I'm looking. There's some young guys, there's some good guys, and I'm like, who am I going with? I want to bet on upside that's really young, so I'm gonna go and plant my flag as you do in Dynasty here. So at this point, I don't want to miss this guy. I don't want to have to trade for him later. So I'm going to go with Tetaroa McMillan at the 401.
Oh, wow. Honestly, I really like that play. I don't think it's a crazy one by any means. I mean, it's a bit ballsy. It's really a throw your nutsack on the table type of move at the 401. I feel like not to go with a quarterback and just kind of send it into the wind at that position. But Tetaroa McMillan, it makes sense. I love the youth build you've going on. Breece Hall, a little bit older than some of your other team, but the rest of it's still very, very young. Josh Jacobs at the 402, Jared Goff at the 403, 404, Dak Prescott, 405, Marvin Harrison Jr. Tyler, what's the move for you here? You started Bijan, Brian Thomas Jr., and Ladd McConkey.
I'm going to get my quarterback stack here with the Brian Thomas Jr., and I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence.
All right. I like it. In the chat here, Michael saying, make sure you guys are subscribing in the chat and coming back and hanging out with us again. We appreciate it, man. We got BHS Cardinals saying, fired up. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. All right. Continue down the pipe here. After Marvin Harrison Jr., Trevor Lawrence goes off the board to Tyler, Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith-Njigba at the 409, Kyron Williams at the 410 as well. And then I'm back on the board here. Man, this is really where I would love to get a second quarterback. I feel like I'm going to need to make that move soon, but we know the drafter on the turn does not have to take a quarterback. So I think that potentially rolls out me going quarterback here. I'm going to go ahead and pause as well, give myself another second as I'm pulling up the queue here. All right. Steve, any thoughts from you on my build so far? How do you feel about Jane Daniels? How do you feel about Ashton Gent and the crew?
I love the first 2 picks. We know my feelings on Drake London. It's been no secret that I am not a Drake London guy. I find him to be a beneficiary of a very bad team that was in a very bad position that I think they could get better this season and not need him as much. That being said, I like the idea of addressing one person at each position kind of deal where with what you've done, where you're like, I have my high upside quarterback, like elite option quarterback and elite option running back. And then what some people would say is an elite option wide receiver. You've hit all 3. And now you're in this position where you're like, am I going to take a quarterback? Now, I think what you're about to do, if you do take a quarterback here, is you're going to reach. I don't like to be forced into taking quarterbacks. I would rather punt the position, because Dynasty is another thing with Dynasty is you have to be patient and you have to be willing to be patient. If you build like the three of us have built, look how young this team is, right? So you're looking at playing this for multiple years. When you start drafting, you kind of have to make a decision of, am I in win now or am I in win later? The worst thing you can do is be in between. So if I were you and I had this kind of build going on, I'm not going to reach for a quarterback because you're not playing for just this year. But if you draft that quarterback, you're missing out on some higher end options at other positions just because it's super flex, you know?
Yeah, I totally feel you. I'm going to go with Travis Hunter here. I know Marion Hampton is actually higher in my dynasty rank, so if you guys want to cross-check me on that, I do apologize. The pick with Hunter, though, it's a youth build. It's very risky. I've kind of been the one actually out on Travis Hunter at ADP in a lot of redraft formats, but I think here in dynasty, it lends itself nicely to the build I'm going with in just pure youth. And Travis Hunter is always going to have name value there as well. So very much in on taking Travis Hunter at the 411. Going to see what quarterback comes back. Chase Brown, James Cook off the board at the running back position. So for me, it's J.J. McCarthy's the pick. Cameron Ward right there behind him. But I am going to go with J.J. McCarthy, lock down that quarterback 2 position with another young guy that, hey, if J.J. McCarthy doesn't work out, I'll be able to go right back to the well here in a very talented 2026 class. Trey McBride off the board at the 503, 504, Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans at the 505, T. Higgins at the 506. Tyler, what's the move for you and how are you feeling about the team? You got the stack with BTJ and Trevor Lawrence. You got another young receiver in Ladd and Bijan. How's the feeling and where are you going here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about the team as a whole. Weirdly, tight ends were falling. I was thinking in some kind of world that Trey McBride might fall to me there, and then I would be living the absolute dream of a roster. But he did not, and so I'm kind of. It seems like my team is going pretty young, so I'm going to get me another young asset here that you passed on, and I'm going to take Marion Hampton.
Okay. I like the pick in Marion Hampton, man. I honestly really like your build with 2 young stud running backs. You got the receivers. You have at least one quarterback. Tyreek Hill off the board at the 508. Kenneth Walker off the board at the 509. 510. Rashee Rice. Devontae Adams at the 511. Steve, you got this young build. You don't have the quarterback yet. Do you find him here? You got some good ones on the board for waiting to the middle of the 5th round, end of the 5th round, actually.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, it's that I don't want to reach. I don't want to be forced into this quarterback pick, so I'm not going to be. I am going to continue on. I'm going to keep on keeping on, and I'm going to take a guy who could be an RB1 very shortly, and I'm going to take Travion Henderson here at the 512.
Oh, love that pick. Love that pick.
And then once again, going to go back to the youth well. Here, I believe, and maybe not as young as other guys, but someone who I think might actually be kind of undervalued. I feel like his name value has taken a significant hit here, but I feel it in my bones that the Waddle's going to come back with a vengeance, and Jalen Waddle is my guy. I'm going to go get that speed. Tyreek Hill's getting older. That wide receiver 1 position maybe up for grabs a little bit in Miami. I expect with Jonnu Smith gone, Jalen Waddle taking over that short intermediate thing like he did when he was a rookie, getting back to those high number of catches. I like Jalen Waddle.
Okay. All right. Waddle is the play for Steven. And then Tyler, we're coming back to you at the 5-6, but we do have quite a few picks in between there as well. After Waddle goes, we do have Devonta Smith. Then we have Michael Penix Jr. going at the 503 or 603, excuse me. Caleb Johnson, the 604. Chuba Hubbard at the 605. Tyler, what's the move for you here in the 6th round?
I think I'm going to go tight end. I think I'm gonna take Laporta here. Just continue building a really strong young nucleus that I can build on. Because then I can also go and back these people up later with some vets that are going to perform.
Okay. Yeah. I really like that build continuing to go there. Terry McLaurin comes off the board next. And then it's Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Chris Olave right from the queue. So definitely hurt myself right there a little bit. I have a couple different players I'm looking at the wide receiver position that I could shoot my shot at. I also have a couple young running backs that if I really want to go that direction too, I think I could. But barring some of what's happening right now with some of their circumstance. And Steve, maybe you were right. Maybe it was better off for me to wait because I could have got Cam Ward there, who at that 502. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was maybe a good call out there from you. All right, first I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
It's known to happen from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go Quinshaw Judkins. I have him and RJ Harvey back to back in the rankings. Just going to take the dip on Judkins here still. I think he's a talented back. I think if he can get his head back on track, I think he still has a very promising career. And honestly, if I'm being frank with you guys, the signing of an aging veteran running back in Denver, one in J.K. Dobbins that comes off pretty good year, scares me off of at least a year one RJ Harvey breakout. So I'm going to opt to go away from him there. And then we have George Kittle, DeAndre Swift coming off the board at the turn. I'm back up, and I haven't addressed tight end yet. I really want to do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and click the button. The young squad continues. Give me Tyler Warren at the 702, Joe Mixon off the board at the 703, DK Metcalf at the 705, Jordan Addison at the 706. I don't know if I'll regret that one, Steve, honestly.
You will.
Because there were a lot of good wide receivers I wanted, but I couldn't pick between a lot of them. Like I would take any of them right now as my wide receiver 3 between
so what you're saying
and
is
GP.
What you're saying is you were at a buffet. There was a lot of good options.
Yes.
You couldn't decide at anything on the buffet. So what you did instead is you turned to the mop bucket full of dirty water and drank that instead. That's an interesting strategy. I also think it's a really interesting strategy paired with the fact that you drafted Drake London saying, oh, I'm going to stack him with Michael Penix, and then you took J.J. McCarthy. Your draft is interesting, Seth. Your strategy is confusing me.
Hey, I completely understand. I'm definitely going back a little bit on some of that. Michael saying, sorry, guys, we'd love to stick around, but got to be up early. Can't wait to see you at the Expo. Pump for it. Pump see you as well, Michael. Have a great night, buddy. Tyler, you go at the 707. You make the move for your second quarterback, Cam Ward, in the 7th round. Got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Cam Ward yet, but to get another young person there, I've got 2 players that are going to have to develop through this season. So I'm going to be with doing this, I'm going to be targeting to try to get a veteran quarterback kind of later in the draft, maybe like a Matt Stafford or something like that can carry me, if Cam Ward doesn't produce this year. However, if he does what we hope he does, then it'll be a great pick for years.
Okay. All right. Cam Ward off the board there for Tyler. Justin Fields coming right off the board next at 708, 709, Jameson Williams, 710, RJ Harvey, 711, Xavier Worthy. And then Steve, you're making the move to go with the quarterback, Bryce Young, QB1 for Stephen Lawson and the boys. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so now I feel like I'm in the spot where there was no one on the board that I really loved. I wanted to go young. I'm sticking with the young guys. I got the stack with Ted McMillan, and now I'm getting the future stack with Malik Neighbors and my guy in Jackson Dart, who is my QB1 in this class. Very excited about Jackson Dart falling to me. This is why I won't be like handcuffed into drafting quarterbacks, because it's a long game, right? I am happy to fill my super flex position with a good player at a position other than quarterback for a season or half a season or however long it takes before Jackson Dart ascends to the starting role. And now I'm double dipping with him and Malik Neighbors. I have Bryce Young and Tetaroa McMillan. I like the way that this fell to me. Again, I had to react to how the board fell. I wanted Justin Fields, I'll be honest with you, but he didn't go. I looked at the board, nothing spoke to me. That's when you go and fill the super flex, the highest value position.
All right. Well, Lot of regret going right now for the kid. George Pickens off the board at the 802, Jerry Jeudy 803, Jawan Jennings 804, Emeka Ibuka at the 805, Dave Montgomery to you, Tyler at the 806, Matthew Golden 807, James Conner 808, Brandon Ayuk coming next, Cortland Sutton as well. Tyler, Dave Montgomery, what's the play there?
Just trying to have some production there while Amarian gets going. It was really a punt. I was hoping that George Pickens was gonna fall.
Same.
Right there, and he didn't. So, and then Emeka went, and so this was my next shot.
All right. Well, fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken Judkins looking back, guys, if I'm being honest with you, because I wanted a receiver, and then I Tyler Warren popped up in my ranks, and I had to go with him. I'm going Ricky Pearsall here at the 811 just to get some more wide receivers. I'm very thin at wide receiver, so I don't like that at all, especially with the question mark that could be somebody like Travis Hunter at the top of my team. So I don't think I'm going to get a very good grade on this draft, boys and girls, after this, but we're going to keep swinging because that's what we do here at IBT. I'm in the thick of it yet again. Talk me out of drafting Calvin Ridley here, Tyler, because I think I want to go down to Tennessee in your neck of the woods and go Calvin Ridley.
I mean, he might be good for this year. He might get like 1 year out of him.
Yeah, he is so old. With my build, it doesn't make sense, does it? It really doesn't. All right, well.
I know it hurts.
Oh, it really does. I don't want to go back to the running back but I feel like I'm very close to doing it.
You gotta stop looking at the ADP charts, and you gotta go down and get one of your guys.
Tony Pollard is one of my guys in a redraft standpoint, so I'm gonna get him here. Again, I'm a little running back heavy compared to what I wanted to be with drafting Genty at the top. Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, Khalil Shakir, Tyrone Tracy right off the board next as well. Tyler, you're back here at 907. You have 2 quarterbacks. You have a couple running backs. Still need to fill out that wide receiver room. Is that where you go here at the 907?
I am considering it. Considering it. And I think I'm going to
it's tough right now. We're at kind of a standpoint in the draft where you have the aging disappointing veterans, or you have the upside lottery tickets with the young wide receivers, I feel like right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab somebody I really like that I think is going to shine in Houston. I'm going to get Jaden Higgins right here.
Jaden Higgins, all right. That's the pick. Luther Burden coming off the board next, followed by Josh Downs, Cam Scattaboo, and then Brian Robinson. Steve, you're on the board at the 912. You finally have your quarterbacks. Do you have enough wide receivers? Do you attack that position here, or do you continue to load up on running backs?
So I'm going to split it, and I'm going to go with 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and it's going to be an awful homer back-to-back picks.
I know this. Yep.
Give me Keon Coleman, wide receiver 1 for the Buffalo Bills.
Gross.
And then give me my guy, my called out
Don't do
breakout player.
No.
Give me Trey Benson at the 1001, baby.
You got me.
That's my guy.
You got me. You got me. That was going to be my pick. I thought he would make it back around. I was going to stack another really young asset that's going to have a couple years.
Knowles, baby.
I'm not a Knowles fan, but I do really like that pick. So I'm going to get another, the running backs thin out so fast. I feel like there's so many receivers, especially vets, that you can fill your roster out with later. Everything else thins in these drafts. And so, even though there's a lot of hate, and he has fallen in drafts this year, I just can't accept that ETN is completely out. So I'm going to take him here in the 10th round, and we're just going to ride and see what it has. I've got 4 running backs. I've got Bijan to carry it. I've got Mr. Consistency, according to Bob and David Montgomery. So I can take a shot on a young rook, and I could take a shot on a late round fill-in. And I feel like my running back room has a really good start. And then there's tons of vet wide receivers that I can fill in. I already got 3 super young assets. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about this roster.
In between those picks, we had TJ Hawkinson off the board, Colston Loveland, Evan Ingram, and Dalton Kincaid. So just a run of mid-round tight ends, and that continued after your pick as well. We had Jonnu Smith, Mark Andrews, and David Njoku, Jalen Warren. I've used this draft simulator a ton. I've never seen such a run for the tight ends, but it makes sense that everyone wants to go and get them. So for me here, it's all about continuing just to add young, promising wide receivers to this squad that do have some upside. First pick here for me is going to be Jaden Reed for the and I got sniped by the computer. Jaden Reed for the Green Bay Packers. Was really excited to go after him. And, you know, he's someone like, even when he's not on the field a lot, like we'd love to see a higher snap share for Jaden Reed. When he is, he has a great connection with Jordan Love. And that's appealing. His touchdown equity is high. I think it'd honestly be best for him to eventually get out of the Packers just because I think he could find more equity elsewhere. But he was the pick. I was hoping Trey Harris would come back. He didn't. I guess we'll pull the trigger. We'll just tighten up in this draft. We'll go Calvin Ridley as well. So tighten up here. Give me Calvin Ridley. I feel pretty good about that being my fifth wide receiver, honestly. He's a guy who can play for me these first couple years as my team's really finding its footing. So I think that'll be one that the grades like. Javonte Williams off the board next, Najee Harris, Jordan Mason, Zach Charbonnet at the 1106. Tyler, you're back on the board at the 1107 here. Very balanced roster. Still need to probably add some wide receiver depth, but overall, great looking roster here. A little bit of youth kind of paired with a win now strategy I think you're deploying.
Yeah, I told you it would be balanced. I'm fixing to start getting into my vets that I really want. But, you know, I'm going to I hate it. It turns my stomach to do this in this pick, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I never mind. I take it back. I can't do it.
What are you?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's not who I picked. But
all
okay.
right. Well,
you didn't get it into the wire.
I didn't get into the wire. Now I've got a quarterback that's going to fall off.
What was going to be the pick?
I was looking at tight end, and I was going to take a shot on someone that a lot of people have taken a shot on.
Oh, okay. He's still on the board. Yeah, I'll give you
my
that.
guy.
I think I might know.
If you take him, just know he's supposed to be on my team. I got auto drafted. Seth got to pause, and Tyler got auto drafted.
Hey, if I would have known, I would have paused it. I apologize on that one. But that's Seth Woolcock football there, baby. Ramondre Stevenson, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White, Tyjae Spears off the board. Steve, you're on the clock at the 11-12. You go Geno Smith. You get that third quarterback. Is that just in case you are eventually competing for a title this next year, or you want a vet to lean on?
Yeah, you always want that vet to lean on. As a matter of fact, I think Tyler and I are almost going to swap picks here because I was going to go with Tua and Geno Smith back to back just to give me a little bit of flexibility. But there was a guy who was floating around my head a little bit, and I thought about him, and I've said he's going to break out this year again, and he's going to come back to relevancy, to the island of relevancy. He is like the OTC of elite tight ends. Give me my boy Kyle Pitts all day long.
Oh, that is not who I thought you were gonna take.
That is exactly who I was gonna take.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. I was thinking you were going a little bit deeper than that, but Atlanta tight end goes off the board there at the beginning of what are we in now? 12th round, 12:02, Bashaw 2 and 12:03, Sam Darnold, Jaden Blue, Tank Bigsby, 12:06. Tyler, you're back up after the series of unfortunate events to the squad.
Yeah, definitely a series of unfortunate events. So now I'm mad at Steve. So I want to make sure that when I play him, that the outside of Brock Bowers, the only person he throws touchdowns to is on my team. So I'm going to take Jacoby Myers right here.
Jacoby Myers. Okay. All right. Fair enough. We also have coming in after Jacoby Myers, Jalen Wright, Austin Eckler, Isaac Garendo, Jalen McMillan. Ooh, all right. Back on the clock here. really like how I've kind of started to add to this wide receiver room. So I don't feel like I need to add too much more to it currently. Don't love a lot of the options on the board either at the moment. Would have loved some of these rookie running backs to fall back to me. Bashal Tutin would have felt great here. However, I think I'm going to continue to round out the tight end position a little bit on my roster, give Tyler Warren a little bit of time to cook and continue to grow and develop as a player. And I'm going to go ahead and add someone who definitely should have not fallen this far. I don't know how he did in this draft, Tucker Kraft. Ray Davis, Jerome Ford back off the board as well. I'm back on the board. Oh man, this is such a tough part of the draft where there's really not a whole lot you like. Do you start adding? You know what? Give me Tyler Shuck as well. Give me a third quarterback. Give me a rookie. I mean, he is 25, so a little bit of an age issue there potentially, but just give me another guy that I think can slot in as JJ McCarthy potentially gets his feet under him as well. So I'll go Tyler Shuck at the 1302, Tyler Algier, Debo Samuel at 1304, Devin Neal 1305, 1306, Jake Ferguson. Tyler, back to you here in the 13th round, the middle of it. Where do you go?
I'm going to. Man, I hate this stops at round 13. I'm ready to keep cooking. It gets better. I want 18 through 20. Those are when I'm really like kicking it up. I'm gonna take probably, and I'll probably get harassed for this, but I'm gonna take my favorite tight end out of this rookie class right here, and I'm gonna grab Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor coming off the board. Nick Chubb, Rico Dowdle, Marshawn Lloyd, Cooper Kupp. Steve, last pick of the IBT startup mock draft here, live on the YouTube. Where are you going?
It's no doubt. For me, at this point, you are going for the guy who has the highest upside, the most value he could possibly have. And there's one guy on the board. Injuries have derailed any value he has. Yes, he's been rough for his first 2 years in the league, but if he figures it out, he is a top 5 asset in Dynasty, period, end of story. Give me the man who should be starting under center for your Indianapolis Colts. Give me Anthony Richardson all day long.
Okay. Wow. Look at that. That very, very cool. Appreciate that. I thought you were going to go Shedeur Sanders for a second. That's where I thought.
I don't like Shedeur Sanders. I can't stand Shedeur.
Yeah, that's true. So 92% from the Fantasy Pros. I appreciate that on my grade. Let's check out the rest of everyone's grades and how everyone did. Steve, how do you like your team in general? Would you say, are you happy with how everything felt to you?
I love my team. I would be very happy to have this as my Dynasty startup.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was fantastic. The experts definitely disagree.
Oh, wow.
But, that's Dynasty for you. And, we need to be really honest with our listeners in that just last year, the Dynasty rankings looked vastly different than they do this season. You never know for sure. So when it all comes down to it, you can take in all the noise. You can hear what we're saying, hear what the experts are saying, see what Fantasy Pros ranks them at, this, that, the other thing. But at the end of the day, it's your team, and you need to go with what you think is the best option because you're the only one who has to play with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the guys that I wanted. I looked at the build that I wanted. And I'm being killed because I think I punted the quarterback position.
Yeah.
100%.
Multiple times I passed on a quarterback when the experts thought I shouldn't have. But I ended up with 4 guys who realistically could be starting quarterbacks for me and put up pretty good numbers. So I'm happy with it.
Okay, Tyler, not a bad run for you. You come in 5th here. What grade did they give you, and how are you feeling about your squad as well?
I think finished B+ at 5, which is it's fine. I took a lot of guys that have possibility, and and I think Steve's getting hit because he also took guys at possibility,
mm-hmm.
right? You look at the Trey Benson pick, you look at some of these the quarterbacks that he took, which don't have great reputation, even though you have some that really turned it on towards the end of the year. So I don't know that I agree. I will say this. So the front, it does seem like a very quarterback heavy rating in this, because the only team outside of the top 7 that didn't go super flex, like quarterback really, is team 10. I know you did it, but you approached, you got your quarterback 1. You got probably the one of the top assets, if not the
that
top
helped.
asset. So
That helped.
That plays in there. But I'm super happy with my team. Like, you look at my team and who I'm running out there as a starting roster. I mean, I got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback with either Cam Ward or Tua to pop into Superflex. Then you got Bijan, you got Hampton, and if Hampton's not rolling yet, I got Monty that I can throw up there, or I got ETN I can throw up there, who, by the way, if you look at his actual game projections going into the season, and I know there's a lot of Bashal Tootin, love out there, but if you look at his projections, he's projected over 20 points every week, so there's obviously some look that there's going to be some value there. But either way, that's people on my bench that are plug and play. I got 2 absolute solid young wide receivers, and Brian Thomas and Ladd, both in the top echelon of wide receivers. Like, in a world that both of those end up on the same team and a rookie, startup is pretty crazy. Feel good about that. I feel good about my tight end, and then I got some great young assets. I think it's a solid roster.
I honestly really like your build, Tyler, because it's a lot of youth, but you can honestly still compete in year 1, and you have a couple veterans that can help you get there now, like David Montgomery, like Travis Etienne that you drafted. Even Jacoby Myers could kind of be in that bin too, that are kind of on that bridge, right? Like, they're not totally over the hill yet. They might have a couple good years left in them. And I think this roster is a great blend of competing now and competing later. Steve, let's go through your roster as well here one last time before I take a walk down victory lane. Malik Neighbors and Tedero McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Keon Coleman to receiving core. So great looking receiving core. Breece Hall, Trayvon Henderson at running back, Brock Bowers at tight end, and then your quarterbacks, Bryce Young, Jackson Stark, Geno Smith, and Anthony Richardson with some depth pieces like Trey Benson, Kyle Pitts sprinkled in. Do you think this is more of something that you think that will compete more in year 2, or do you think you have a shot here in year 1?
I think there's definitely a shot in year 1. I think I have the Dynasty wide receiver 3 in Malik Neighbors, who has top 5 upside any year he's playing. Brock Bowers is the tight end 1. I think that's great. I'm looking at the way they're grading my draft, and they give analysis. And they're saying if I drafted CeeDee Lamb over Brock Bowers, they would have given me an extra 108 points. I would have been in like 6th.
Wow.
In terms of their ratings. Like, they really just didn't like the Brock Bowers pick. But look at how young this team is. It will compete. I mean, Breece Hall is a great running back. Travion Henderson is going to be a starter. Like, if Jalen Waddle comes on and is even kind of resembles his rookie year, this team's competing, and it's going to compete for a decade. So I really like what I like. Geno Smith's my only old player. There's no one else who's old or over the age of like 25 years old on this team besides Geno Smith.
Okay. Well,
so
and
the thing that would have got me over the top of you, Seth, is if I would have took, and it's interesting that they put that in there, if I would have taken TJ Hawkinson at the 9-7, that would have put me over the top.
Interesting.
Over you. But that wasn't my build. I was going young. Now, real quick, just before we move on, I want to pop back. If you look, I can figure out how to get out of this. If you look back now at the players still available. So if this Dynasty startup keeps going, right? I mean, you have tons and tons of game changers still out there available from young. The running backs are pretty dried up, but like wide receivers, there's a lot. I mean, Stephon Diggs is still out there. Marvin Mims is still out there. Like, there's tons of folks. A lot of the rookies are still there. Tight end is absolutely full. Travis Kelce didn't even get touched. Evan Ingram didn't get to, like, all your veterans that are going to fill in your roster and provide this year value and get you over the top are still sitting there and haven't even been picked by the 13th round. So these teams coming out, like, you look at Steve's team, which is full of young players. You look at my team, full of young players. You're gonna iron that out with some studs. Same thing with you. I mean, your team's like your running backs, Ashton Genty, like you went young. Like you're gonna iron that out with veteran studs here in the next 4 or 5 rounds. That's gonna make these teams look completely different.
Yeah, going through my team and my build, I have Jaden Daniels at the quarterback position, Ashton Genty at running back with Quinshaw Judkins, Tony Pollard, JJ McCarthy in the Superflex with Tyler Shuck as well. And then I also have Drake London, Travis Hunter, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Calvin Ridley at wide receiver, Tyler Warren and Tucker Crafts at tight end. So I love the youth of this build. I think I probably built one of the younger rosters. Like really the only older players at all on my team are guys like Calvin Ridley, like Tony Pollard. And if you want to make the Tyler Shuck joke that he's 25 too, I guess you can throw him in there. I think going back, the thing that I regret the most is I don't like my Judkins pick. I wish I would have taken someone like a DK Metcalf or even like an Xavier Worthy there and kept it younger. I would have rather gone back to the wide receiver position. But potentially, as Steve kind of said in the moment too, in round 5, I wish I almost didn't take JJ McCarthy there, and I would have just taken someone like a T Higgins that could give me instant upside. And then wrote it out, got Cam Ward when it came back around. So I think I'd rather of hit wide receiver heavier in those middle rounds. I think that's my biggest takeaway. But hey, boys, the pros love it. I love it. I'm still a winner at the end of the day. So
This is why Seth wanted to use this platform for the mock draft.
Yeah.
Hey, I knew how to game it, baby. I knew how to game it because that's Seth Woolcock football for you. Guys, just an absolute pleasure tonight on the program. So much fun. Tyler, tell us everything you got going on over at the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. I know you've been in the thick of it over there with the Fantasy Football Expo coming, in addition to everything we're doing here at IBT, and you've had a big part in as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's all hands on deck, full steam ahead. Make sure you guys go check out FSAN.com. That's Fantasy Sports Advice Network, FSAN.com. We've got our content streams rolling out, videos, everything's there. We just launched our consensus rankings, so you can start to find those there. We've also launched into basketball and baseball coverage. We have our first basketball articles hitting this weekend. So just continuing to grow and push and grind. Make sure you go check out our YouTube studio. We've got the Fantasy Football Advice Network, Fantasy Baseball Advice Network, all of it there. Check that out. And then we've got something really big coming at the end of the month that we're really excited to release. For all of you out there that love sports, it is going to be a sports-only social media platform. The app is almost done. We'll be finished in the next 2 weeks, or I guess week and a half before the expo. And there's nothing like it. Like all your favorite creators, all your favorite content right there in one place, mobile app right there on your phone. Instant interaction with all the people that are playing fantasy and fans, and really what it is, we're just trying to get back to it, right? Like fantasy all started with us getting 10 12 of our friends and getting together and popping beers and drafting. Or if you were a lot younger, maybe it wasn't popping beers, or maybe it was for you, Seth, I don't know. But just hanging out in the community side of it, and so we're really excited to drop something to support that community. And it's a lot, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun ride for sure. And Seth, IBT, you guys welcome me in. I'm always happy to be a part of that, and you guys are doing great stuff too, man.
Thank you, man. No, congrats on everything coming your guys' way. It's always exciting to kind of have a backseat view and look into what's coming for you guys. So make sure you're checking out the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, FSAN. For Steve and myself and Tyler, you can also support us here at In Between Media. If you've ridden with us this long, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the whole channel. We've got fantasy football and NFL betting content, college football betting, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, entertainment betting, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way. Also, be sure to check out inbetweenmedia.com. Get invested with all that great written content right now on the wire. And be sure to check out the website for some dope dope events coming your way as well. Draft Night Out and the IBT Classic. Again, use that promo code #Weekender. You're going to get 10% off when you get both tickets. Come golf with us on Friday, then come draft with us on Saturday. It's a full weekend of fun out there at the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton. So excited for that. Gentlemen, I'll see you very soon and just here in a couple weeks, but enjoy yourself until then. For Steve Lawson and my guy Tyler Bradley, I'm Seth Wilcock. Thanks for watching and keep it in between till next time, y'all. Thank you.